Good to go. All right. We'll call to order the Pryor Creek Rec Center Board regular meeting Monday, August the 1st, 2022. Item number 2, approve minutes from July 11th, 2022 regular meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the minutes of July 11th.
Okay.
Second.
Motion by Lamar, second by Cantrell. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3, petitions from the audience, limited to 5 minutes with advance reservation. I see no petitions. Okay, item number 4, discuss possible recommended council action regarding the contract between Pryor Public Schools and Pryor Creek Rec Center.
So these are all pretty simple contracts. This is the one you see every year with Pryor Public School, their after-school program, and then also their special Tiger Shark swim team. Nothing is really changing. Last year they upped the visits and included the month of September, and they've done that as well. So I think there's just a difference of like 2 visits, but they have more kids this year, so we're actually going to be billing them a little bit more. But everything on here is pretty much the same as last year. We just needed to update it for 2022.
So everything's the same, basically. Okay. Any discussion? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the contract between Pryor Public Schools and Pryor Creek Rec Center.
Motion made by Cantrell,
I'll second.
second by Kathy Gray. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 5, discussion possible recommended county action regarding the contract between Cool-Sul-Wan
Just saying.
and the Pryor Creek Recreation Center.
Okay, so this is, if you'll remember, they were located downtown by Yorktown Fidelity Bank, and they, during COVID, lost their spot, and so they ended up using the rec center in a sort of a temporary situation, but now they've realized they just cannot afford quite yet to get back out and start renting again. So I told them if they were going to stay on a more permanent basis, we needed to get a contract like we do with everybody else. So this reads pretty much the same as any of the other contracts that we have with Miss Jimmy or the swim program. It just states when they will be in there, and that in exchange they will pay us 20% of each student's fee once a month. So just like all our others.
And your relationship with her's been good?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay.
Yep, they've
You know,
worked.
because in the past, we had to kind of work around schedules, and it was a conflict.
So it's now been taken over by Charles Bruch, is that how you say it? Bruch, who works for the city, it's his wife, and so her and I have worked really well together, and
Cool.
yeah, been able to work out the schedule. We've been able to give them a little bit of extra time. These times will change during the school year, but so far they've been really flexible, so.
Any discussion? If none, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion that we approve the contract between Cook-Sul-Wan and the Pryor Rec Center.
Good job.
Very elegantly put by Cantrell,
I'll second it.
seconded by Lamar. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 6, discuss possible recommended council action regarding the contract between Enchanted Tide Mermaids and the Pryor Creek Recreation Center.
Okay, this one is a little different, and I wanted to make sure I got it to you guys before they held the event. The way they're wanting to do it, so just a note, if you'll remember when we did our Little Mermaid event before, it was not with these people. This is a different group. And so the way we did it in the past is it was our event. We charged $7 at the door. We kept the money, and then the mermaids, of course, got free publicity and got pictures and promoted their business and that sort of thing. This is a group, this Enchanted Tide wants to come in and they want to charge the fee. And so what they're requesting is they will pay us the $300 private party so that they have the pool to themselves from 3 to 5. They're going to be charging like $18 a person, I believe. And they're going to be giving each child a mermaid wristband, photo ops, sing-along performance, tattoo table, cannonball contest, that sort of thing. So what I've done is put that into a contract form so that they follow the same kind of protocol as everyone else. Except this one is worded that they have paid the price for the $300 private party. And then if their 20% goes over that $300, they'll pay us the $300 plus that difference. So if it's under, the 20% stays under, and they don't have as many participate, they still have to pay the $300 private party fee. But if they do really well and go over, then if there's any difference, they've agreed to pay that.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So they follow the same protocol, but since they're, using our facility just for them, they've got to pay the private party fee.
Got it.
Is there a limit as to how many they can have in an event like that?
Well, the pool capacity, we told them for private parties is 80. So they'll be capped out at 80. So, but they are doing, people are already signing up. I think there's a Facebook event, and it does say spots are limited. So they can kind of track it before then.
Any discussion or volunteers to be a mermaid? I'll entertain a motion, please.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve the contract between Enchanted Tide Mermaids and the Pryor Creek Rec Center.
Okay, motion made by Riff,
Second.
second by Cantrell. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 7, discuss possible recommended council action authorizing the City of Pryor Creek Street Department to pour the concrete slab sidewalk for the outdoor fitness center for the Pryor Creek Recreation Center at an estimated cost of $6,100 from capital outlay equipment account 848455410.
Okay, so there was a little bit of discussion before, so I wanted to make sure everybody was clear on this. If you'll remember, when we talked about the budget for this year, the amount that we budgeted for the fitness court was $155,000. So I came to you last month with the first request for $120,000. That was just for the equipment that will be coming. And then the other two pieces to that are on the agenda for tonight, one is the concrete slab, and then the other is the actual installation of the equipment. So with these two additional items, we're still under the 155. We're like at 151, almost 152. So just to kind of make sure everybody's clear on that. And this concrete slab project was bid out. I don't know, Steve, do you want to?
Whatever you want.
Okay, he's here if you have any questions, but they placed the bid out to 5.
We had 4 contractors that had plans and drawings, and we made several contacts with them during the last 2 weeks. And the day of the bid opening, none of them provided a bid.
Yeah, no, maybe too small of a project, I don't know, but they didn't submit any bids. But we do have the cost from Buddy with the street department on what it will be for them to come out. That includes the material and the labor for the street department to do it, and that's the $6,100. And they will be ready to start that as soon as
Yeah.
council approves tomorrow night.
I
Yeah.
think you're right on the size job. It's probably too small. They've got all their help on bigger jobs.
We had several questions, but that's probably right. Timing, we needed it done quickly. This time of year, I think some of these contractors are tied up doing other concrete work. But really, I think the issue was just how the size of it and how quickly we wanted it done.
Any
I'll
dis-
make a motion that we approve that quote.
Okay.
Street Department.
Motion made by Lamar,
I'll second.
second by Kemp. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 8, discuss possible recommended council action regarding the hiring engineering installation solutions to complete the installment of the National Fitness Campaign Outdoor Fitness Court at a fee of $25,000 from capital outlay equipment account 848455410. No other contractors have been contacted regarding a request for proposal, as EIS is a recommended nationwide contractor for NFC.
Okay, so this is a company out of South Carolina that does all the installation for the National Fitness Campaign nationwide. And so I think you've seen in your packet, it will tell you exactly what is included and exactly what work they will do. Basically, they will come in and set up everything. We talked about this as an in-house project, but there's a lot of, it's got to be done right. If you're going to do it, it's got to be done right, and this is what they do. So we just felt more comfortable in going with them. The only thing that we will have to do, and the mayor got me a couple of contacts today, is we will have to provide the construction fence around the site while they are installing.
There's no issues with not being able to put this out to bid?
No, there's not an issue. National Fitness Campaign uses this company as a company, as a sole source company. We don't pay National Fitness Campaign, we pay this company direct. So there's not an issue, and there's not any other way to bid it. So what they do is they produce products, and then this company has an agreement with National Fitness Campaign to install the products.
They also install the graphics, which is a big deal. So they will be the ones that will actually be putting the graphics on the wall. And once they get on site, it's just a 3 to 4 day project, and they'll have it up and it'll be ready to go.
Any discussion? If not, we'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we hire Engineering Installation Solutions to complete the installation of the National Fitness Campaign Outdoor Fitness Court, $25 or $25,000.
$25.
That'd be nice.
Motion made by Cantrell,
Second.
second by Riff. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 9, Director's Report.
Okay, so we'll start with facility repair maintenance, and I'll go ahead and just elaborate on the fitness court schedule. So, it all got messed up this afternoon, but the plan was, and it'll be altered a little bit. So as soon as everything's passed through tomorrow, street department was ready to go tomorrow, but they'll have to wait for council action tomorrow night, and then they'll come out and start, kind of clearing and prepping for the concrete. Depending on how long it takes to get the concrete company out, once that's poured, we have to let that wait or cure for 28 days. And then once that's done, then I will get a date with the installation company, and they'll come in and get everything set up. So we're still on track for October, fingers crossed, as long as the concrete company can get out. And shipment is the only issue. We aren't going to be ready for the equipment until September, but we need to go ahead if it's ready to ship out and get it while we can. So it was actually scheduled to be here this Thursday, but they just sent me an email a couple hours ago saying there's already been one issue, so now it's been postponed until next week, which isn't bad. But it's very heavy equipment, and so the street department's going to come in and help us with a forklift or the skid steer and get it off of the truck. And then we have Pryor Lumber who's going to help us with the pallet jack to get it inside. And we will have to store it in the lobby area on the east side of the lobby where we don't have a lot of traffic right there anyway. People weigh, and that's the only area, the reason they use that area. And we will block it off, and they'll still be able to weigh. They'll still be able to be on the couch. But it's got to be stored inside where it's cool. And honestly, there's no other place in the gym or in the building to store it. So that will make it easier. Once EIS gets on site, we can just bring it right out the front door with the pallet jack to the site, and they'll be ready to go. So that's been pushed back now till next Tuesday or Wednesday, but we should have the equipment hopefully within the next week or two, and it can sit there until they're ready for it.
Is Pryor Lumber donating their services to assist
Yes,
with that?
they are, yeah. They have one of the guys that helps manage the store works out with us, and so he offered to come help
Jeremy?
us. Jeremy offered to come help us, so very thankful for them.
Well, silly question, why does it have to be stored inside if it's gonna go outside?
I wondered the same thing, because our plan was to store it outside. And when I told them that, they were like, no, with this record heat.
Go
it
ahead and
needs to
quote me
be-"
on that, that's
Yeah.
fine.
They said it needs to be stored inside.
It makes me wonder if we're not gonna put some sort of sealant on it once they get
Maybe.
it outside and get it installed. So it may come in raw, and then they'll probably put a sealant of some sort
They
over it.
probably don't want to be blamed for damage
Probably
Yeah.
so.
being
Right.
outside when it's not installed yet.
True.
And then they say, well, something's wrong with it.
Yeah.
Or we would.
Well, and it is record heat. I mean, it's bad. So, and it wasn't, we were gonna cover it with a tarp,
They
but
install it 6 months later.
When she first hit it, I was thinking the same thing.
I said they want it to look good when they install it 6 months later.
maybe it has something to do with the graphic. I don't know, but, we found space. Yeah, we found space. Well, I thought, well, we'll just stick it out there by, we had a spot that we could see with the cameras and would be out of the way, but that's okay. We'll make it work. Okay, so that's that. On top of that, in the area just to the north of the new fitness court, we have a really bad water leak. And so S&J got out there last week, but they determined that it's a MUB issue. So MUB was out there today looking at it, so I'll keep you guys in the loop on that. But it's pretty wet out there, so we're trying to get that resolved.
We do have assurances, though, that
It will not affect the
it's
pad.
not going to affect the pad that we're going to be pouring.
Yes. MUB and S&J said that, and then I asked MUB this morning, and they said
They're notorious for
it shouldn't affect it at all.
stuff up after it's fixed.
So, and hopefully MUB will be back out in the morning. Gym floor, I know we talked a little bit about what to do on the gym floor. I will tell you this, within this last month, as I've been asking people, they feel like the new cleaning scrubber that we have has made a huge difference. So even the pickleball players said that they're not even having to bring out their wet rags anymore to wipe their feet off. So it's made that big of a difference. So as I've made a couple more calls, I got a hold of somebody else in Oklahoma, Okie Pavement. I don't know why I thought they would do striping or floors, but I was desperate. And when I got a hold of him last week, he said there's absolutely no one in Oklahoma really doing the rubber floors or restriping them or anything. So I would say at this point, I mean, it's completely up to you guys, but I'm thinking maybe we almost put this on hold now that the floor scrubber has created some, resistance and kind of give it a little bit more time and see. We've got the pickleball players are really wanting to put another court in there and add another court. They've got quite a following in the mornings, and so they're wanting 3 courts instead of 2. So I'm going to continue to try to find somebody who can actually put the paint down and stripe the floor, because the duct tape makes it hard for Jesse to use the floor scrubber.
So I think I found the reason why they have to be in. Delivery of material by the client to the fitness court work area according to the schedule agreement. Installation must be free of defects and in proper condition and ready for EIS installation per the NFC installation instructions.
So they don't
So
want it.
basically, what they're saying is they want it in there so it's nice and safe and it's not defective, because these guys are saying we're not going to install it
If-
unless it is.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. What?
Yes.
Sorry.
for sure.
Sidebar.
No, you're okay, for sure.
I like reading.
I'm glad you found it. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of update you on the gym floor situation. I think it's probably best to just hang tight and figure out what we're gonna do about the striping and the pickleball and all of that, and then I'll keep you updated each month. Okay, finance report. I already handed out, mine, if you want, I think I was one short, Steve, if you wanna look at one next to you, and then I'll let Mayor go over his, but these are the numbers that I had, off of Rec Track. So major differences, the little increase in facility rental was 5-tool basketball. Our pool parties were up. And then merchandise, about the same. The other difference, guest passes were down a little bit. Swim lessons were about the same. But you'll notice down below, we ended up just about the same as June, a little bit over. And then I think he's got the big report.
Before we get to the numbers, You can look at this email, it's got the yellow stuff on it, a little highlighting on it. This is the item that Mr. Lamar asked about regarding charging credit card fees back to the customer to cover our costs. Can you advise? I asked Mr. Ritchie if he would advise on this, and you see the email where he says there is no problem with doing that. Many businesses assess an additional fee if credit card is used to cover the cost to the retailer if a card is used. If we're going to do that, then the customer needs to sign an agreement at the beginning which discloses that if payments are made with credit card, then whatever the charge is, we charge to use credit card to pay. That was his advice. I was asked before the meeting if he researched that, and I don't know if he researched that. I don't know. I asked him for an opinion, he gave me the opinion, so I'm sending that opinion on to you. So if we're not satisfied with that, I'd be very happy to pursue it further.
Well, what that tells me is he's a city attorney, and if he acknowledges that it's okay, then he accepts the responsibility, because it would ultimately go to him if we end up having a lawsuit.
Ultimately, we would go with Oklahoma Municipal Assurance Group.
Yeah.
But that's the information that I got on that, in that regard.
May I add something on that? Of
Absolutely.
course, I'm the one that brought this animal up, this elephant up. To me, it was just, I thought it was crazy that we're spending up to $10,000 a year for that, when it's really, it's providing something free fee that we're paying for to the customer, and that would save us money if they would charge the fee like everybody else, and that would save us $10,000 in the budget right there if we pass that back on to, and that's why I brought that up. And it seems like in the last financial report from last year, it seemed like we were already maybe going over what was budgeted for that already, and we were really losing money on it. I just thought that was a kind of an unnecessary expense.
Please do.
I did run a credit card report for the month of June, so just to give you kind of an idea, a card was used over 1,000 times, 1,050 times. So even if you multiply that times, I mean, if we do a $3 charge, and that would definitely help offset. I just don't know how, I mean, to get everybody's permission, we can get permission at the desk when we take a card for a water, or for merchandise or whatever, but everybody that's already signed up, because this includes installment billing people too, who have automatic, I don't know how we go about, getting permission from, if their automatic billing is already set up. But just,
Yeah, the total right now is $19,874 as of this report that we spent credit card charges.
And if they don't want to pay that fee, they can either pay cash or a check.
right.
So I think we should, Jessica, I think we should try to figure out what the logistics would be for us to do that. And if there are logistics there that we could implement,
Good.
looks like we already have a system that's efficient for us, except for the fee.
So if you were to make the changes and add an additional $3 per, could you not just communicate to everyone that their charges, well, according to the attorney, you have to have them sign?
We have to have their permission.
Because I was going to say effective, yeah, that wouldn't work. Because if everybody's got to sign. What about at renewal? Or does it automatic renew?
No, we have to go in and renew, yeah, that would be a possibility.
Is it all renewed at the same time, or
No, it's just.
Staggered throughout the year.
Just throughout the year?
Just
staggers?
when they sign it once a year.
The only thing I'm gonna add to this is all of our members that are on auto withdrawal get a discount for being on, or setting it up that way. So that, just as we're reconsidering how to set it up, remember that.
How much of a discount? $3?
So, kind of.
membership prices. And that's kind of a beast we haven't wanted to go towards, but if we raise all the prices and those people on auto withdrawal, we still get that discount. Maybe someone still have money somewhere.
Yeah, I think the only problem with raising the prices was, and again, I don't know that this is written down anywhere, that because of how it was set up with the tax money, that it was basically put forth that the prices would never go up. Now, that's what the founding fathers told us a few years ago in a board meeting, but
We have created a culture where we are,
mhm.
with the way we charge and with the way that we operate. There is another way to look at it, and I'm not saying I'm looking at it this way necessarily, but as those credit card charges go up, that means that we are generating more and more and more and more revenue. And the question is the revenue that we're creating
Offsetting the expense.
more than the expense that's costing us? So I think we would be wise to try to evaluate that part of it. Also, the efficiencies that we've created in our system, that probably has value to us as well. So I think it'd be wise if we continue to do some analysis on that.
Absolutely.
Any other questions about that? Are we missing anything?
$19,000.
It's a lot. Credit card fees are-
If it costs us
Well, I mean,
$19,000,
your experience, I mean, Marty's experience in
if
that
it
is
costs us
well,
$19,000 to make $35,000, I don't know. But I think if we can do some analysis on it, and try to figure that out, maybe that we would have more of a clear picture, other than just looking at the expense. Marty?
Oh, I'm thinking. I'm just thinking.
Because your business pays those fees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we started doing that, you know, we posted a note and we do 3% of the sales. So that's what we had to do, you know? So a lot of places are, and they just kind of squeeze it in with the credit card receipt. So I think a lot of people don't even notice it. It's just automatically done. So, you know, like the bank sends out your statements and says, if you want to continue to get a paper statement, it's going to be this fee. If not, you know, you don't have to have that fee. I guess you could send out a statement and ask people.
That's a good
It's
idea.
going to be, continue to do it this way. If you don't want, please. That's just a lot of work for you guys to send out a statement for the people that aren't going to get it zipped out of their account. You know, who does that? Sends out all that? Would that be you?
I mean, it would be us, but I don't even know if half the time we have the right info to send out. You know how hard it is putting people's emails and you mess up one letter or one number, and,
Yeah.
but we'll think through it.
Terry, do you have something?
MUB does that, they've got a policy altogether downstairs, but they've been floored by the fact that nobody bets an eye. I think they might charge $5, I don't know, but they've got a whole policy, and I think they just put it in a Facebook post or something, saying, this is the new rule. I don't think anybody signed anything.
It's convenient.
They've been doing that for quite a while. Haven't they been doing that for a few years? Yeah. Would you mind getting with your counterparts at Claremore and other surrounding cities too and see what they do?
Might check MUB's policy. Of course, there's much more of an urgent need for utilities than there are for
Right.
people to go work their muscles. Anyway, I think it bears some more evaluation. Any other questions about that? Okay. So page 58, 59, 60, and 61, and 62. if you look at the top of the page, this is a June 30 report. June 30 report that you got last month did not include all the numbers because we're trying to close out the year as of June 30. So this report is different. It does not include any of the July activity. Okay, it only includes the activity up through June 30, which we believe is pretty close to accurate for the end of the year. So if I can draw your attention to page 59, the top item there, the sales tax, last month I reported to you that we were at 65% of the total. Well, this is 62% as of the end of the fiscal year. And that's encouraging to me because the number of $1,025,743.66, the sales tax part of that is 62% instead of 65%, which means that our efforts to generate revenue are working. The memberships item there, you see the 4,500 line, $205,076. That's about 20% of the revenue generated. So when I look at this kind of with a big picture, and I see that there's about 20% of our revenues are generated by memberships. If our memberships are just bam with a withdrawal from a credit card, then that's pretty efficient. I think we need to continue to evaluate, like I said, but these numbers look pretty good, in my opinion. So that's the revenues on page 59. On page 60 and the following pages, I'd just like to draw your attention to the percentage column over on the right-hand side. So at the end of the year, we spent about 77.3%, excuse me, of the budgeted amount in that 845 fund. In the 846 fund, which is the aquatics, we spent 66% of what we had budgeted. In the child watch, we spent 79%. In the excuse me, fitness department, we spent 88%, 88.5%. Total expenditures, pardon me, we spent 77.1% of our total budgeted amount. And then the next page, page 62, shows the net revenue over or under expenditures, which you see there we spent about $330,000 more than we took in. Which we knew we were going to do that, and that was intentional from reserves. Y'all have any questions?
What's the Jock Merrick grant of $68 just hanging out there in that?
That was the grant that we applied for a grant and received it to do the garden out back. And it did not get going this year, but that's just leftover funds that, and I've already talked to Jackie about doing something with that in the spring. So
Okay.
if she does, I'll probably apply for more and just add it to that fund. But that's what was left.
Any other questions? Thank you very much.
Hey, Jessica, on your merchandise, what's your margins on that?
Well, it depends on, I mean, we sell so many different things.
Yeah.
Now that is one area we have increased. As the product has gotten more expensive, we've increased our prices.
Right.
So, I don't know, I'd have to do a breakdown of everything, but we are staying on top of.
Yeah.
And that's where, I mean, if they come in to buy something, that's real easy for us to add that percentage for a card, because a lot of them will come in and they'll be like, I want to, Gatorade, and we'll say, well, you have to spend $5, so they'll say add 2 waters or whatever, and then they'll run their card for $5 when, maybe next time they would just bring cash if they didn't want to pay the extra. So it's definitely something we can look at, but. And we have been able lately to find some less expensive energy drinks that are selling just as well as the others, so we're kind of phasing out the more expensive ones and bringing in the others, so. Okay. Aquatics report, for the month of July, we had 16 public and 5 private. Jackie was able to get 20 in for group lessons, which brought in about $1,100, and she completed 20 private lessons in July as well. So she's got 24 privates booked in August, no group this month, but she will start group lessons back in the fall after everybody kind of gets back in school and she can find an evening to do it. And also she's prepping for after-school program because that'll begin the Tuesday after Labor Day. Grand Lake Mental Health did bring people in this summer as kind of part of their programming out there, and what they do is they come in and swim, and then we keep tally at the front, and then we submit a bill to them on the backside. So we do have a bill coming from both June and July, some money coming from them for their swimmers. Okay, for the month of July, we had 191 new members. Our reconciliation report, we did drop to basically 79%, 78.6, I believe, which we anticipated. As school gets ready to start, a lot of those kids are going to drop their memberships for the pool, and so I look for August to probably do the same thing. But we also have people that will get back in the groove, and we should add some memberships in the next month or two as well. And we still had 191 new ones, so it's definitely not a bad number. Kelsey is working on the new fitness schedule. She's having a hard time hearing back from a couple people, but we're trying to bring back a pretty popular class, and then we're also trying to get Tai Chi extended. So we should know that within the next week, and we'll get that posted on our Facebook. One thing about the classes, the senior 9:30 a.m. classes are just packed. I mean, there was one day last week we had 38. It's easily 30 or over. Sometimes Tuesdays are a little bit lower, but they are about to bust out of the pool. So we have spent a little bit of money that we had budgeted for aquatics on getting, they're running out of noodles for class. They're running out of the water dumbbells. So I did get some of those ordered last week so that we have enough for everybody. But those classes are doing really, really well, which is great. The basketball tournament that was scheduled for this Saturday, we've got 3 teams, possibility of 2 more. They were supposed to have signed up Friday. It's Monday. They haven't brought it in. If we can get 4, we'll have it. If it's less than 4, it'll kind of be weird to do it. But this is the Debbie Lyon Memorial Tournament, and so we would love to do it if we can. It's hard to find a good time of the year when people have time to come in and play. But that'll start Saturday morning at 9 o'clock if we have time for that. And we're also working on completely redoing our inventory. This is a project we've been talking about for a few months now, but Jess took the reins today, and so she is organizing that effort and making sure we can because we've got the new equipment, we've got, so much, we've done so much in the last 2 years, it really needs to be updated. So we're just starting from scratch and creating a brand new inventory that will go to Charlotte. So I'm excited to get that done. I'm very appreciative they're doing that. And just a reminder, we are hosting Dam Jam next month, September 7th, which is the bicycle ride, and they are going to be utilizing the west side of the Rec Center by Child Watch in that grass area. They'll have a tent and some different activities over there. And parking will be at the Burdick Center, so it'll be a big morning and busy for the Rec Center. We are offering our facility for them to shower, of course, for a fee, just like we do Rocklahoma and what's the other one?
Born and raised.
Born and raised. So September will be a busy month, but yeah, I think that's all we have going on. Any questions or anything I'm forgetting?
Yeah.
Just that. Just that.
Jessica, what's the status of the engineering study we're having going on?
So I have not heard from him, and I actually thought about that today when I was looking at last month's director's report, so I will reach out to him. He told me it would be a month or two of data collecting.
But he has installed the
I
sensors.
believe the sensors are up. Yeah, I will find out. I'll find out, and I'll update and send you guys an
Have we
email on
paid him
that.
yet?
Do what?
Have we paid him yet?
No, we have not issued that check yet.
Okay.
Correct? We approved, but we have not paid him. So I will follow up with him and see, because I was just thinking about that today. I haven't heard from him. So I will find out where we are with that. I know he said it would be probably September before he would have what he needed, but I haven't seen him put those sensors up, so I'll find out.
What is it for? I'm sorry.
The HVAC study.
Okay.
For the humidity, and we did have rain last week and we did not have any leaks. So the roofing company checked on us the next morning and no leaks. And that was a heavy, hard downpour with a lot of wind. No, we did?
And Jackie in the pool area, I don't know which room was.
Is it chemical?
It might have been him.
So that's like a condensation,
She thought it was
yes.
from the rain, and so she went and checked the rest of the building for me,
Oh, okay,
and it was only in there.
yeah.
Okay.
I think we've decided, I think Melton said that's from a unit, but I will double check on that, so. Yeah, and just make sure.
Sweet. Glad to know we're not leaking.
Do what?
Glad to know we're not leaking.
Yeah, at least in those main spots that I was a little concerned about, so that's good. Yeah, good news.
Any other questions? All right, thank you, Jess. Item number 10, unforeseen business. Having none, first of all, I'd like to say it's nice to have everyone here. All of your smiling faces. You might want to get a camera Polaroid of all of this. We all do exist at the same time, so, anyway. All right, thank you guys for your service. Item number 11, adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Lamar,
A second.
second by Marty. All in favor?
All right.
Aye. All opposed? Have a great evening. Thank you.